Everyone, Elias here from Foundation Chicago. Just wanted to talk a little bit about competing on short notice. We're big on preparing for competition as well as we can. We give our members all sorts of resources from worksheets to individualized curricula, training camp plans, individualized film study. We try to make sure they have corners there for them at every competition, whether it's jiu-jitsu or MMA or boxing or kickboxing or whatnot. With that said, sometimes when you're an experienced practitioner, or one has the opportunity to compete on short notice against someone of commensurate experience or ability level, and one you've been training regularly, I really feel like you've got to test yourself on short notice if the opportunity arises. This past weekend, I had a really great opportunity to do just that when I was offered on 2 hours notice a main event slot against UFC vet and a friend of Foundation, Mike Santiago, a great black belt, gym owner, Santiago Training Center. Really good dude, really great fighter. His opponent fell out on 2 hours notice. I was already going to be at the Dotap Championships to corner Rami Daoud, Coach Rami. His match, they asked if I wanted in. All I needed to do was talk with Mike and say, hey, Mike, you good with this? You want a match? I know you've been training. I'm not cloud chasing, but I'll give you the match if you need a match, man. And he said, yeah, no, everything's good. I'd love a match. I said, man, it'd be my honor. Again, he's a fantastic fighter, so an opportunity to go against a high-level athlete. I'm not a high-level athlete. I've just been training jiu-jitsu for a very long time, and I love it. I took it. I went, and we said, let's go. I competed 2 weeks ago, got tapped out at IBJJF Spring Open in Chicago. Didn't love the way that went, but I've been needing surgery. I needed 2 surgeries for a while. One for 5 years, one for about 10 months. I said, I got to get at least one of these before I compete again. So I was sitting eating breakfast, getting ready to corner, and they said, do you want to do this? Talk to Mike. I said, yes. To me, if you're not ready to test your jiu-jitsu when you're given an exciting opportunity and you've been in the gym, then you don't believe in your jiu-jitsu. I don't care who you are. I'm a pretty low-level black belt as far as these things go, right? I'm not an international level black belt. I'm not a national level black belt. I fought MMA as an amateur. I didn't fight as a pro. But I believe in my jiu-jitsu, sometimes to a delusional point. But I've been training since I was 15. I'm in the gym every day. Sometimes training really hard, sometimes not as hard because of injury, age, teaching responsibilities, whatnot. But you just got to go for it sometimes. And if you're not in the gym sufficient enough to jump into a competition, if something is offered your way that's interesting, ask yourself why you're not in the gym enough to do that. Jiu-jitsu is a fun thing to do. It's a fun release to go to the gym. We shouldn't need to be pressured to go in the gym. And guess what? Competition is a fun, although sometimes anxiety-filled opportunity as well. And competition is an extension of one's training. Once we get comfortable enough in the gym with our training partners to go there and hopefully not have anxiety because we train in a healthy space and a healthy gym and a healthy team, we've got to test ourselves in competition. If someone, God forbid, came and forced you to defend yourself in the street, they're not going to listen to a laundry list of excuses. You've got to be ready to go some point, sometime in your life. And you know what? You're never going to regret competing. Sometimes you're going to regret not preparing as much as you should have, not having trained as much as you should have, not being as good a shape as you should have, but you're never going to regret competing in and of itself. Mike tapped me out this past weekend. I was bummed. I was enjoying myself until it. I had my shots. I wanted to work front headlocks into guillotines. I had one. He escaped. I wanted to work butterfly guard into outside heel hooks. I got my chance. He escaped. Once he hit me with his submission attempt, I didn't escape, and he got me, and I was bummed about it. I don't regret doing it, and I don't think anyone's going to regret competing as well if they test themselves. We had people this weekend at Foundation Chicago who hadn't competed in years, and I kind of pushed them. I said, let's go. I think you're going to have fun. I think it's going to go well for you. And sure enough, they really enjoyed the experience. They happened to kick butt and do really well, but that's kind of secondary. They enjoy the experience of testing themselves and finding out what they really can do when they're a little more stressed, when they don't know what their opponent is going to do, when they don't know their opponent. We have people testing themselves more this week against people they haven't met. We're going to do a dual meet with the friends at Iron Jiu-Jitsu, BJJ and Yoga Studio in Bridgeport, 3700 South Iron Street in Chicago. wonderful team. A lot of people are going to be competing for the first time. They're just normal people. They've just been training for a little bit. They're not sure if they're quite ready. Guess what? They're jumping in there to find out how ready they are. And win, lose, or draw, because we're a positive team, we're going to be really, really proud of them. As long as you know when to tap and you have the ego to tap, jump into competition. Prepare as best you can, but when you get an opportunity to test yourself, even if it's with not ideal preparation, consider it an opportunity to kind of like just test yourself to instincts and see what you can do on a spur of a moment. You'll never regret it. And I also think it's really your responsibility if you train for a long time, especially if you have a high rank, if you've competed in the past, you owe it to yourself, to your development, and to those around you to continue to test yourselves, not be afraid to lose, and learn. It helps your training a lot. So get out there, get to the gym, get to competition when you can. Good job, everyone.